Hi big beautiful babies, it's Meghan Tonjes, and I am so excited to talk to you today because we are talking about mental health. Today's video is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It is something that I have been learning through therapy and through kind of just my own practice. And before we get started, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, BetterHelp. If you are looking for licensed counseling using your computer, tablet, or mobile phone, BetterHelp is perfect for you. You will be matched with a counselor in 24 hours or less. You can also join group-in-our sessions every week where members can learn in groups directly from licensed counselors on multiple topics. BetterHelp costs about $65 per week, and financial aid is available for those who qualify. So if you're looking to continue your journey with therapy or start therapy for the first time, go to betterhelp.com/mamatonjes and get exactly the help that you're looking for. For those of you who don't know, I've been using BetterHelp for the past year. It is kind of my first foray into therapy, and I recommend it highly to friends that are looking for an opportunity to get help, but maybe don't have the access to it, maybe don't have the budget for it, and most importantly, want to do it from the comfort of their home, over their phone, through video. For me, it's a lot easier sometimes to write out my feelings, and I find a lot of times through the writing of it, I come to a lot of conclusions and revelations, and I can just get a little bit more depth than me speaking, especially when it's about something difficult. So it's been a big help for me. So in today's video, I want to talk about how I stop overthinking. These are just a few things that I've picked up along the way, things that I've tried out that work really well for me and are really good about getting me kind of out of that panic state when there's just too much going on and I can't focus, and because there's so much, I can't do anything, and I kind of just am in this limbo state. So first of all, I find myself overthinking the most when I am trying to predict what's going to happen and be prepared for it before it happens. I have realized definitely through therapy that this is part of my trauma, things that I grew up with, ways that I survived, that have carried over into adulthood and sometimes are very helpful and often are very, very not. I've kind of joked about this and had friends joke about this, about how sometimes like I'm in a coffee shop or I'm out somewhere and I've already imagined what the person I'm walking by is going to say and how I'm going to react. And while this seems like a weirdly helpful thing as far as, you know, avoiding being caught off guard, it's actually an incredibly exhausting thing because I can't stop my emotions from feeling and reacting to a situation that hasn't happened yet. So I'm getting kind of all the fallout for a situation that hasn't happened in preparation for something that might happen that I'm terrified of being ill prepared for. So the first thing I do is I try to remind myself that the very short amount of time it took me to make all of those plans and think of all of those things, that is something that I have the capability to do in the moment. I can take a breath and I can get to the exact same point that I got to in my panic, but I don't have to do any of the pre-work. I don't have to feel any of the stressful emotions until it actually calls for me to feel them. I have to trust myself, and I also have to be willing to forgive myself if I'm caught off guard, because that is life. I say something snarky to people regardless and very quickly, often on my podcast and my videos, so I gotta trust that, you know, that little demon is below the surface forever and always. So don't have to bring her out, you know, at every possible conflict. Can step back and try to assess the situation first and then decide if the demon needs to come out. Something else that happens to me where I feel a lot of anxiety and I feel very overwhelmed is in moments where I have all of these ideas. I have all these creative ideas, and by the way, every time I think of like a video series or a podcast or even just something that I want to talk about in my Instagram story, it's rarely as simple as here's the idea, let's make it. It's usually here's the idea, let's make it. I have to be in it. I have to plan it out. I have to maybe write it. I have to edit it. I have to upload it. I have to market it. And then I have to do that all over again the next day. And if this is something that does really well, I have to continuously do it. So let's add it onto the workload that I previously had. And as someone who comes up with a lot of ideas, this can be a lot because I look at my week and I think, well, I don't have time to do any of this. And so I end up doing none of it because I'm overwhelmed. So I started making to-do lists that aren't necessarily for the day, but are for the week or for the month. So I give myself more time to achieve some of the things that I want to do. It also gives me enough time and space to realize what I can achieve in the time that I have. And it also requires me to sit down and be practical, but also ask myself, like, does this all need to get done today? can it all get done today? And does it need to be done by me? And it's a much better way of me kind of managing the expectation that's leading to the anxiety. I cannot say that I've been great at trying to meditate in the ways that I've been taught how to meditate. I'm not great at counting my breaths. When I am super stressed and I'm super overwhelmed, I try to close my eyes and just sit there. And this can be as long as it needs to be, as short as it needs to be. But I try to imagine myself in my happiest moment to come. This could be as simple as like imagining the house that I want to have one day, or waking up on a trip that I've always dreamed of. Maybe I'm thinking about the moment when I sell a book, or I see a friend, or I get a puppy. It's really just kind of imagining the sense, the smell, the taste, the feel, the thoughts, the energy of what's going to be going on around me and in me as I am experiencing like whatever happiness I would like to experience. It's sort of just placing myself in moments of celebration or things that feel like they will be peaceful to me and existing in it. And also, the more that you do it, the more detailed it gets every time that you go back to that same place. You're really kind of setting yourself up for manifesting. And I know that people talk about manifesting and people have all their different ideas about what it is and what it isn't. But for me, manifesting is really about a direct line to seeing the things that you want. And whether you know it or not, consciously, unconsciously, you're kind of setting up the opportunities. You're seeing things in a different way. You're making connections in a way that may lead you a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit easier to the path that you're looking for. So it's really a practice of shifting my mindset and then aligning myself with how I want to feel in my body, in the life that I have. So this is what I've found has been working for me recently. And I'm just in general asking myself questions in the middle of panic, doing kind of what I would do for a friend who's going through something. I try to ask questions. What do you need? What do you want? What's happening right now? How are you feeling? Things like that, just kind of reconnecting. And again, I mean, so much of mental health is doing the same things that you would for a friend that you really care about and just internalizing that for yourself. So let me know below in the comments, what are some of the ways that you get yourself out of your panic, your anxiety, your overthinking, your stress? Always looking for new ideas. Have you tried any of the stuff that I've talked about? Do you want to try any of the stuff that I've talked about? And finally, a shout out to BetterHelp. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Again, betterhelp.com/Mama Tonjes if you want to try it out. Super excited to be able to help you guys in your mental health journeys, perhaps even your therapy journeys. And yeah, just wanting to check in and make sure that the BBs are okay. You can find me Meghan Tonjes on most things. If you like this video, you think that someone else in your life needs to see it, feel free to share. All of those buttons are down below in my particulates. Say hi to your grandmas for me because I got places to go, I got people to touch your lucky faces very much. And I will see you soon. Bye.